Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays West of Loathing, where we have a little meat for the first time in Earth's history, and a lot of things to go to, but first, I believe that having built the bridge, we can probably access the westernmost part of the map. Let's go to that, and then we'll work our way east to west, knocking off these parts of the map that we have not completed yet. And hopefully solving quests like, for example, how the heck do we witness the thing at the circus, you know what I mean? Like, come on, it's getting a little ridiculous here, but sure, we'll go to the railroad camp first. You spot a small makeshift signpost stuck into the ground a few yards away from the road and stop to check it out. It says free meat, but that's not what the meat says. And indeed, there's a small pile of meat lying in front of it. You're so distracted from rolling your eyes at the obvious trap, you almost miss the goblin sneaking up behind you. He's wearing an old buffalo skull as a helmet, which you have to admit looks pretty metal. I gotta hand it to you. You nearly got me. Good job. Ha! Foolish human is falling into my clever trap. Now you are giving me valuables or I'm beating you up. You know, this may be the first time I've been mugged by a goblin. Usually you guys are more or less peaceable. I am smart like human. Why making things myself when robbing easier? Smart like human is a very accurate description of that idea. Yes. Obviously more goblin talk. Giving me your stuff or hitting you. Calming down. We coming to some kind of agreement. Agreeing with either taking stuff or hitting. Well, we have to fight, unfortunately. I want you to know, you're really doing this to yourself. There was no reason it had to be like this. You pretty much brought this upon yourself. You beat the goblin up and take his fancy buffalo skull head as well as the meat that was lying on the ground. We got a buffalo skull in the heart of America. We also got mysticality. We don't need that. We also got some meat and some experience. And we have 757 unspent experience, so, I mean, I sort of feel like shooting Annie is garbage and we should just level our stats instead. But, I mean, it's fairly cheap. Tell you what, I'll pick up a level of that. We still got 457 experience. Put some in mysticality just to get it to a base level of 10, so hopefully we can be a little bit better there on skill checks, but it's going fine. Oh, this guy stopped with the jelly beans. Okay. No, I mean, he's still eating the jelly beans, but I was hoping, having solved the jelly beans, that would solve that problem. Hey, boss, great news! We got that lumber shipment in from Brentwood, and you're good to go. You got the bridge built already? Yep, most of the passengers were so bored they chipped in to help. Wow, nice. Now we just need to lay tracks all the rest of the way into Frisco, and our work is done. Both mine and yours. See you there, boss. Wow. Easiest money ever made. I don't want to look through the telescope because unless it gives me... Nope. I was hoping that it would give me a new location. Alright, so let's start working east to west. So we're going to go back to the Big Apple, the only place on the eastern side that we have not been to yet. We only recently discovered it. There are probably some undiscovered locations based on the spaces that are open on the map. As you reach the center of the clearing, you're simultaneously struck with a profound awe and a terrible stench as you discover the largest road apple you've ever seen. You can't even imagine how this got here. Was it a giant horse? Was it 200 normal-sized horses acting collaboratively? They should have sent a poet, so it's just a big old poop. It doesn't smell any better close up. Clean it up. You gain 1 experience. Keep digging. Oh! Slow down. It's quite a bit smaller than it was before. Dude, thanks for the free experience. Joke's on you. It's way smaller than it was before. Almost there, I hope. Hooray! You gain 1 experience. That was actually like probably 30 or 40 experience. Did you hear that sound? What was that? Oi, hoi, hoi, hoi. Alright, I don't know what that's all about. Let's go... What do I like? Wells, mines, forts, graveyards, ranches. I do like the ranches, honestly, but let's work north to south now. So we'll start with Fort Treason. So it's Treason then. All right, Fort Treason. One of these days we're gonna load. It's a demi-culverin cannon. Look closely. You look at the cannon, it's a fine cannon, demi-culverin in size. Insert your cannonball. You look through the rangefinder on the cannon, but you can't see any indication of what you want to shoot at. You decide not to waste the ball. Alright. I understand where you're coming from here. We gotta give me something to shoot. StarCraft style. Saparilia. I think the joke there is that it's spelled differently every time because it's a word that's hard to spell. I think I figured it out. This footlocker is closed. This footlocker is rusted away to almost nothing. Military school class ring is the unique item there. +8 pistol attack damage. Yas. Queen Slay. How many needles we got right now? 4. Sure, I'll use 2 of them. The lock on this footlocker is rusted away. Private Lemon's diary is our unique item. This is an immaculately cared for standard army issue diary labeled Private Lemon. It's private in 2 ways. Private Lemon's diary is pretty dry and not very interesting, just a list of the day-to-day duties of a straight-laced soldier up in the hills without anything to fight. Toward the end, though, it starts mentioning their commanding officer, Captain Simon, becoming increasingly agitated and convinced that a nearby ranch was being used as a spy outpost. Lemon doesn't sound convinced, but as one annoyingly vague entry puts it, orders are orders. The last few entries have to do with dissent in the ranks and the possibility of mutiny, the thought of which Lemon abhors. The rest of the pages are blank. All right. We got Private Matthew's diary, a key to a P.O. box, which I'm assuming is back in Dirtwater, and we will go check that out. A battered and dog-eared army issue diary. The cover says Private Matthau in barely legible in a collage of gravy stains. Most of Private Matthau's diary is empty pages, ink splotches, and latrine duty again, blah, blah, blah. Near the end, though, you start to see some notes about the fort's commanding officer, Captain Simon, going off the deep end. As Matthau puts it, it's probably Matthau, right? Like Walter Matthau? As Matthau, because it's Lemon and Matthau. It's Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. I get it. The odd couple, grumpy old men, etc. Being stuck out here in the middle of nowhere doing nothing is driving the captain friggin' bug nuts. When the captain eventually decided that a nearby ranch, occupied by a solitary woman and her book collection, was actually an enemy spy outpost, Matthau felt compelled to warn the woman, but was too worried about getting court-martialed to give her any specific details of the looming threat. Okay. In an attempt to prevent an imminent cannon bombardment of the ranch, Matthau stole some ballistic charts and hid them in the post office box during shore leave in Dirtwater. This place doesn't have any damn shore, he comments. What the heck? Unfortunately, the cannons had already been calibrated, and when Matthau returned to the camp, he discovered the shelling had already begun. In his last entry, he declares his intention to start a mutiny, but the diary ends there with no conclusion to the story. Interesting. Agreed. Artillery targeting flare, but no diary on this one. This flare produces a huge plume of smoke, and where there's smoke, that's where you should fire. Interesting. Interesting indeed. This must have been where they stored all of the fire. Okay. Well, we should go back to Dirtwater then and open the P.O. boxes that we can open. Off to the side of the trail, you notice one of those weird cacti shaped like coffee cups. I cannot access those because I have never learned foraging. Apparently, you should learn foraging right off the bat. Unless you find yourself being like, looking like an idiot like me. Oh, we got a package from Rufus. P.O. Box 114. You open the box. It's empty except for a single sheet of cardstock with columns of numbers in tiny print. Fort Treason Ballistics chart. This is a chart for army guys that explains how to effectively destroy things from a distance, okay? We have another key, though. We had another key, though. Didn't we? We only got one key? Maybe. Read it. You know what? I bet that cannon could blow open the vault door at Alexandria Ranch if you could figure out a way to target it. Well, that's what the flare is for. I've got it. Okay, I'd like to send a postcard. Dude, I don't know what happens after this, because, like, we have gotten already all of the packages. They just give us experience now. The package is empty, or maybe Rufus sent you some kind of special air. That sounds like something he would do. Breathe it in. 200 experience. Right, we had that happen once before, and I just forgot. So, we're going to go to Alexandria Ranch. And then we're going to use the military flare, which should allow us to shoot at it, I think. Well, here's the thing out of nightmares. Maybe not your nightmare specifically, but definitely someone's. A human skeleton scuttling towards you, crackling with blue electricity and making a loud hissing noise that sounds like a cross between a nest of angry rattlesnakes and a broken radio. We're going to lasso that sucker. 20 experience. You pull out a coil of heavy-duty steel cable you found earlier, and I didn't bother to mention, poke one end into the ground and quickly tie the other end into a lasso. The skeleton, seeing this, gets the picture pretty quick and runs away before you get the chance to try your lasso throwing skills. Lucky us. So we should use the artillery at the vault door. Place the targeting flare. Go back to Fort Treason. We've been holding this cannonball for, like, actually 1 million years. Insert your cannonball. You peer through the rangefinder at the distant smoke of your targeting flare. You consult the ballistics chart and turn the little knobs and cranks and stuff to the appropriate places. You root around in your pack and find a match. Light it up! Boom! If that didn't open the vault door, then those grapes are probably sour anyway. I don't know if that's a turn of phrase or if we're actually looking for wine, but... Why were we at Alexandria Ranch? I do not recall. Right, I remember that. Broken books. Ooh, not broken books. Percussive maintenance. Percussive maintenance apparently allows us to solve some puzzles without actually doing the puzzles. Like, I was complaining about the elevator puzzle in Twitch chat. I was like, it took me like 6 minutes of using the calculator to do it. And then some guy in chat, and I apologize, but I forgot your name, was like, oh, I just used percussive maintenance and skipped it. And I was shaking my virtual fist at him like, why I never, you know? You quickly memorize the entire book. You got a perk, percussive maintenance. You learn how to hit machines in just the right place to fix pretty much whatever's wrong with them. And then, of course, we lose the book forever. How to cheat at poker. Cheating is part of the game of poker, but getting caught doing it is still disadvantageous. This book purports to turn your cheating into sneaky cheating. Gives you the dirty poker skill. You will almost certainly get caught. You've learned how to cheat at the weird variant of poker they play in these parts. So as to conceal the evidence of your dirty dealings, you eat the book. Another issue of Modern Snake Oiler? You learned all the techniques in this magazine. You do manage to pick up a few tips and tricks from the letters to the editor, though, so it's not a complete waste. You gain 150 experience. Then you hide the magazine under a log in the woods. Maybe some child will find it and become a snake oiler in the future. That would be great. We don't have enough of a lock-picking skill, but we do have experience. So now we might. We only have 2 needles left, though. The greatest love poem ever written. Rich vein, poor vein. Gold medal, silversmithing. I want rich vein, poor vein, so I can get more meats. This is a copy of a popular financial advice book from a few years ago. It's rare now because of various crusades to destroy every copy of it. We got a perk, Vainglorious. Unfortunately, the book was so old and crumbly that reading it once caused it to be destroyed. So much for literary preservation. The perks. Vainglorious. Increases meat gains from mining. Seems useful. Greatest love poem ever written. We gotta read the poem. I gotta know. The best love poem ever written. The dust jacket of this book is missing, so I can't tell you who wrote it. 1,000 meat. That's a lot. The love poem is so good, you're afraid to even read it because you might fall in love with the book. Yeah. Well, I don't want to just sell it for meat. I want to know what it says on the inside. Dude, that was a good side quest. We got a lot of experience out of that. So let's take our Vainglorious skill and start hitting some of these mines. I need the meat, let's be honest. Rocks. Probably some mine leavings that got piled up here. Search the rocks. You don't find anything of interest. That surprises me. This barrel's full of old grease. Take some. What? Just grab a handful? No. Okay, so we need a piece of something, or like a vessel that we can hold grease in, probably, to solve a puzzle in here. I'm starting to learn the language. Except for the dust all over everything and the fact that the guy at the desk is a ghost, this looks like a regular mine foreman's office. Okay. Can I take the hat? A hat rack with a standard issue miner's helmet hanging on it. We already have a miner's helmet, but maybe we need one. An old calendar. Looks like the work stopped here a bunch of months ago. This ghost is busily shuffling the ghosts of papers around his desk. Excuse me. Kid, I'm busy here. I've got a mine to run. Take a hike, okay? This mine is still running? I haven't seen anyone around. We're miners, kid. If you saw anyone up here, I'd have to fire them for not doing their jobs. Do you know you're a ghost? Do you know that you're a pain in the butt? Hey, I'm trying to keep it family friendly here. My little brother's watching. No, I'm serious. You see me laughing? They hating? Trying to catch him ghosting dirty. How's business? Oh, great, just great. Hunky friggin' dory. See this face? This is my happy face. And I'm double excited about answering questions from some random kid that wandered into my office while I'm working. Look how ecstatic I am. It's quite a silver tooth you got in that sarcastic grin. Made it myself. I've made a few little silver trinkets in my time. Maybe a clue. Now go away! Your calendar is out of date? What? Yeah, it's like 6 months old. I like the picture, okay? Scram. The safe is dirty but solid looking. Get away from that, the ghostly figure behind the desk growls. Take a closer look. You stoop down to take a closer look at the safe. It's pretty standard heavy-duty safe with a dial-type combination lock. Hey, something wrong with your ears? I told you to get away from there. Try to open the safe. Why, you little... Come here. I'm sorry, but you are going to die. I would have preferred not to have killed you, but... It strikes me as kind of being bad. But hey, we got an elevator key and some extra gristly jerky. Increases your melee damage by 5 for the rest of the day. We need safe cracking 3 to even open it. That prompt was literally there just to trick us into murdering this dude. But we did get the elevator key. We got Silver-Toothed Skull. Little spooky. And there's our elevator key. Maybe we had no choice. This elevator... Oh, we did, because we had lockpicking. But this elevator's pretty dusty inside and doesn't appear to have been maintained for quite a while. It does still seem functional, but the control lever is chained and padlocked. You also notice that the shaft is totally silent. You'd expect to hear the rumbling of minecarts and the clanking of pickaxes echoing from up below, but there's nothing. Unlock the lever. You unlock the lever with the foreman's key and give it a yank. The elevator shudders as it begins to descend, accompanied by the sound of clanking chains and grinding pulleys. Very quickly, it becomes too dark to see, and you pull out your lantern. Very slowly, the elevator reaches its destination. You pull the door open and peer into the gloom. This minecart is full of rocks. There doesn't appear to be anything special about them. Give the cart a shove. You put your shoulder to the minecart and give it a shove. It trundles down the track and bonks into the big pile of rocks. So we got an old pickaxe. A worn old pickaxe you found in the abandoned Jumble Deck Mine. It has the initials HH carved into the handle. Not much good for mining anymore, but you could still knock someone's head off with it. Okay, but it could also be like an environmental clue. So clearly we have to like do something with the levers here. So we push it back, we pull the lever, push it forward. It disappears into the next room. After a moment you hear a distant clank noise. Looks like someone forgot their lunchbox down here. They must be real hungry by now. Open it. We got a paper bag and raisins. Increase your melee damage by 15 for the rest of the day. Wait. I know exactly what we need to do. We got a paper bag. So, you fill the paper bag with grease, and then we use that grease to, like, grease up the levers or something. It's the only logical outcome. If you have a good reason to be carrying around a paper sandwich bag full of old grease, I would like to hear it because I can't think of one. Oh, I just told you, didn't I? Bag of grease, grease up the levers because they don't work, and then solve the minecart puzzle. Well, let's see what's in here. This is a crate of old dynamite. Dynamite gets very dangerous when it ages, but I know better than to try to stop you from taking a stick if you decided that you want one. I have decided that. We got an unstable stick of dynamite. The nitroglycerin is starting to sweat out of this dynamite and crystallize on the outside. This makes it extremely dangerous, and you should probably not try to use it in a fight. I mean, you also shouldn't be carrying it around in your pockets, but it's a little late for that warning. Valid. What are we going to use old dynamite for? This minecart is full of rocks. There doesn't appear to be anything special about it. Stick that old dynamite in there. You wedge a stick of unstable old dynamite into a minecart. This can't possibly go awry. And then pull this lever. The lever mechanism is rusted and stuck. This is going to require something heavier duty than a can of oil, seems like. Grease up the lever. You dump a bunch of grease into the mechanism and use the sandwich bag to sort of goosh it up in there without getting too much of it on your hands. You yank hard on the lever and it releases the mechanism's wound up springs, launching the minecart down the track with a terrific whang noise. Off in the distance, you hear a clunk. I don't want to hear a clunk. I want to hear a... We need to get it to blow this up. Okay, no, I gotta figure it out. Give the cart a shove. Then pull the lever back. Then give the cart a shove. Okay, then give the lever a pull. No, give the lever a pull is what you want to do here. Off in the distance, you hear a kaboom. Kaboom means puzzle solved. You give the wrecked minecart a salute in respect of its valor and service. It's hard to tell at a glance, but on closer inspection, this guy appears to have died in a face-down abasement or prayer pose. Praying to the pit, maybe? It's difficult to say. Might have just been napping weird. This skeleton seems to be reaching out to that weird statuette. or reaching out with the statuette. With the hands having fallen off, it's impossible to tell. There's some kind of weird statuette in the ground. Take it. Weird silver idol. You pick up the statuette. It's made of silver, and the tarnish and darkness make it hard to tell what it's meant to depict. This is a tarnished and black and silver statuette in the shape of some sort of creature. You can't tell what it is specifically, or even if it has 2 legs or 4 legs or wings or what, but it's depicted with reverence. Looking at it also makes your stomach feel weird, like you're starving, but also full to the point of nausea at the same time. This item goes in your offhand. No thanks. Didn't really love the stats. The pit seems pretty deep. You kick a rock into it, but never hear the bottom. Throw something into it. You look through your pack for something that might be good to throw in the bottomless pit. You hold up the silver-toothed skull. Alas, poor... Ugh, never mind. No, throw it in the hole, dude. You toss the skull into the pit. As it falls, it yells, "I'm coming home!" So that's a little unsettling. But we gained 30 experience. What about, can we throw anything else in the pit? You take the idol out of your bag. You don't like the way it looks in this dim light. Throw it in the hole. You throw the idol into the pit. That weird feeling in your stomach fades away, although you get a sense of, well, it's like if you heard someone chuckle behind you, except you didn't hear anything, and there isn't anyone behind you. Throw the pickaxe in there. Oh, we can, this is where we can, like, throw out all of our, we can throw out all of our, like, occult goods and get experience for it. You look at the cover of the book, Introductory Nexmex. This book could be your first steps towards real power, but at what cost? Throw it in, dude. 60 experience. Nothing suitable. Alright, so we can only throw, like, occult items in there, I guess. Well, I think we're out of this mine, then. We don't have the safe cracking skill, so that's not going to happen. We'll just keep working our way down here. Curious abandoned well. You happen across an unexpected crate. By unexpected, I'm referring to its location, not its condition, which is nailed shut. We open it up. Ranch punch, rope, rancher's pistol, and a depressed rancher candy. Get it? Is it a depressed rancher? Because it's not Jolly Rancher? +5 moxie? It's not bad, but we really, we admire the status effects right now. The transponder goes ape as you get close to the old well. Well, it's another portal, which means probably another puzzle I doubt I will solve at this point in time. The screen reads, Lacho Anbukuro Gapachano Habano Puchazeve, and then Buga Gapachano, followed by 5 buttons. Press Gabe Chachachano? It made a sound. Did you hear that? There's a big button on this little pedestal. It reads, Gabe Chachachano Bega. Oh, hey. I mean, I'm not too worried about you in the whole scheme of things, because, like, we've been fighting things non-stop. We're not any closer to figuring this language out, but we could at least get, like, unlimited parts here if we wanted to. We got a keystone out of it, actually, by itself, which is pretty good. That's worth 5 scraps by itself. What if we push Kuzlazak Lapu? Gapachano Betcha. Alright. Dude, if the language just turns out to be like Spanish, I'm gonna feel real, you know, displeased about the things that I've said. Let's go to Reboot Hill. It used to be Boot Hill, now it's Reboot Hill. I understand. Don't worry, it's just paint. Anything? Bueller? It's a long walk. This is like the widest area. Surely something at some point will appear in here. Plot 1. Nothing. A ghost. You see the ghost of an elderly woman holding flowers. She seems lost and depressed above and beyond what's expected for a ghost. I have a love poem for you, perhaps? Howdy, ma'am. Is there something I can help you with? Oh, it's so awful. I can't remember at all. Let's start at the beginning, okay? Well, you see, I had 4 daughters. They married 4 brothers, the Smith boys, and after that, they each had 5 daughters of their own. Unfortunately, I outlived every one of the 24 of them. Wait a minute. 4 daughters with 5 daughters each. Yep, okay, the math checks out. You know you're a ghost, right? Oh, yes. In fact, I died here in this graveyard where they're all buried. I came to visit them, and I suppose my old heart finally gave out. That's not the problem, though. 95 years is a pretty good run, after all. So what did you forget? I brought this bouquet of flowers to put on my favorite granddaughter's grave, but I can't remember which one of them was my favorite. I'm so ashamed, and I can't bear to leave until I remember. I see. Well, maybe I can help you figure it out. Oh, thank you. I'd appreciate that ever so much. All right, let's get a freaking matrix going here. Let's carry the one, flip the page. Just in case we need it. Can you remember anything about your granddaughter? First name ended in a vowel. Ends in vowel. Okay, anything else? I was 40 when she was born. It was somewhere in the range of 37 to 42. She's 95 now. So she was born somewhere between 58 years ago and 54 years ago. 58 and 53. 53 to 58 years ago. Is that correct? I believe so. I'm like working backwards. She's 95 and she was 40 when they were born. So it's 55 or 37 to 42, sorry. 37 is 58 years ago. 42 is 53 years ago. 53 to 58. Trust your instincts, dude. Okay, and what year is it now? I don't know, it's like 1890 something. I guess we can look at her tombstone, maybe. Okay, anything else? Her first name is longer than her last. First name longer than last, just like the grandmother. Okay, anything else? I remember that she wasn't buried next to daughters. Okay, buried, not next to daughters. So she's surrounded by granddaughters. She passed at the same age as poor Becky. Same age as Becky when died. Let's do this. We got this. Sherlock Holmes. Anything else? Her favorite hobby was knitting. Loved knitting. She knit me a lovely sweater for Crimbo the year before I died. So she lived the year before she died. Knitted. I don't know if this one's relevant. Sweater. 1 year before death. Alright, let's do this. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. So we got like 24 tombstones here. Let's start working backwards. Dig up? Sure, why not? You uncover a coffin that apparently was delivered by mail because it still has the address printed on it. Either that or this was a joke about someone going to Hellstrom Ranch after they die. Farrah Smith. Plausible because her first name is longer than her last. Fidelity. Also plausible. But is she buried next to a daughter? Possibly. Faith Smith. Not conceivable. So I'm going to write down like no faith. This could take a minute. Just steel yourself. Madeline, yes. Meredith, no. Magdalene, well, I mean, it could be Meredith is what I mean. It could be Magdalene. Could be Melissa. Can't be Mazo. But this is Becky. She was the same age as Becky when she died, and Becky was 50. So she was 50 when she died. So unless there's another Becky. So let's, Becky with the good grave. Let's go check. Is there another Becky? There shouldn't be. First Becky Smith? She was 50 or she was 48. We're gonna solve this. Penultimate Becky. She was 24 when she died. Okay, so we gotta, like, limit it here. No more Beckys. Little Becky, she was 16. Okay. So now we can do this very simply. We go through and are you? We can also determine who is a granddaughter based on birthdays, I think. So Farrah Smith, she was 48 when she died. It could be Farrah. Fidelity, she was 49 when she died. Cannot be Fidelity. Slowly eliminating them here. She was 25 when she died. Well, I guess, now that I think about it, she could have been 24. Because you can't just do the numbers subtracted by one another. What are the other rules? Love knitting. Buried not next to daughters. See who has, like, the latest tombstone? 1884. Are we in 1884 here? No, because there's 1886. I forgot. Can we look at... We have newspapers, right? Like from way back in the day. Did we read the newspapers and they're all gone forever? Because, like, I'm looking, dude. No, I don't think it has... Doesn't have any dates on it. Well, we can't solve this puzzle just by using our new perk, concussive reasoning or whatever. Like, where news? Can I search newspaper? Because I know we got newspapers like super early on. They must have been removed from our inventory. Same age as Becky, buried not next to daughters. Other daughters. Fidelity could be another daughter. Probably not, though. What if we just brute force this? Are we just gonna leave her very sad? Because, like, Penelope, Patricia, where's Lenore? Lenore was it? Lenore is a male name. So, oh, but he was 16. I was hoping they would be like, you know, patriarch, matriarch, and then we could work off of that, but... Let's say that it's Pamela. She died when she was 16. Same age as the final Becky. She might not have been buried next to any daughters. Let's take a guess. It's Pamela. Did her name start with a P? Was it PA? Was it Pamela? No, it wasn't her. Okay, let's try again. She's despondent? Maybe she'll be over it by tomorrow? Oh my god, what a baby. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. I should have put more rigor into it, but I think we might just have to take several days and, like, check her once per day, eliminate as many of the obvious ones as possible, and maybe we'll figure it out. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, partner.